A witness, Mkhwebane, says the idea of a constitutional amendment to change the mandate of the Reserve Bank came from suspended public protector advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane. However, he also says the SSA had also prepared a draft constitutional amendment. For more on this story, let's cross to our colleague, parliamentary reporter Bulelani Phillip. Bulelani, we miss most of the machinations of the process because it's such a technical process. But what came out this morning?
Well, Desiree, good morning to you once again. Maybe just to give you a context, maybe let me go back to what happened yesterday. Basically, Mr. Mkhwebane did say that, this recommendation that was part of the CX report that advocated for the constitutional amendment to change the mandate of the Reserve Bank came after the suspended public protector met with the then State Security Minister David Mkhwebane, as well as a meeting that was held straight after that, that was between Mr. Arthur Fraser as well as Mr. James Ramabulana, who are both there from the SSA. So that was his, evidence in chief yesterday when he was being led by the evidence leader. Now, fast forward that to today, when he's now under cross-examination. As I've said earlier, that the advocate for suspended public protector Busisiwe Mkhwebane, Advocate Dalimpofu, did say that Advocate Mkhwebane will bring an alternative, answer or version of what led to this report recommendations. So under cross-examination, Advocate Dalimpofu was merely trying to give a context that his client is actually going to bring in terms of how she arrived at this proposal or recommendation of changing the constitutional amendment to change the mandate of the Reserve Bank. Now, in designing, the argument, Advocate Dalimpofu says that before that amendment or the amendment proposals was made, there was quite a lot of consultation that was done by one of them is a former Reserve Bank employee, Mr. Stephen Goodson, who has also written a book titled Inside the South African Reserve Bank, Its Origins and Secrets Exposed, which was published in 2019. Now, there is a dispute whether he's an economist or not, or whether he has the authority to actually make those kinds of advice to the public protector. So he's drafted that thing that it might not necessarily be in the SSA that had influenced the recommendation of a constitutional amendment. Advocate Dalimpofu again saying that there was another employee in the office of the public protector, Mr. Niels van der Merwe, who had also done his own study on the macroeconomic outlook in the world, on how the reserve banks of other countries in the world are actually structured and how their mandates operate. And he had also made inputs to the public protector around this particular recommendation. So all in all, what you can read out of this is that Advocate Dalimpofu is trying to isolate this evidence that has been given by Advocate Mkhwebane that suggests that it was only the SSA that made these proposals to the advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane. He's saying there were other people who were also involved in this particular process of coming to that conclusion. However, under cross-examination, again, Mr. Mkhwebane does concede that the idea itself came from the suspended public protector, but he does still maintain that the SSA, during their meeting with Mr. Arthur Fraser as well as Mr. Ramabulana, there was a draft that was tabled during that meeting. Desiree?
Bulelani, thank you so much for keeping us up to speed. Of course, the process continues throughout the